fabulous and feel good for your next photo branding shoot. Let me tell you, as a style expert, I have women coming to me all the time asking me, "Hey, Christine, how do I even figure out where to begin with this branding photo shoot?" So, the number one question I always tell them is simply this. We have to know, are you doing this for your website? Or is this a new marketing campaign? Is this for a book cover, a book launch, or is this social media post? The reason why is that every kind of outlet has a different energy and a different vibe. Most importantly, when you're doing it for your website, you're going to look at things like this is going to be around for a year or two. Most people are not updating their photos on their website on a regular basis. Some want to think they will, but most of the time that gets done and it gets put aside for a while because most people are not these days going right to that whole website right away. What they're doing is they're going to social media, they're going to the Instagram, the Facebook, whatever that is. So what happens is once you put those photos up there, if you make changes to your hair, your color, you've done anything different to yourself, and those pictures don't reflect it, and now you've got a kind of false advertising, especially if you're going to do like a big chop to your hair, you're going to do a big color change. You want to sit down and say, okay, if this is going to be my website photos, the most important thing I need to do is sit down and ask myself, am I overall happy with how I look? Do I want to change my hair color? Do I want to chop my hair? If you do those things, you're not going to make your session the next day or the next week. You want to make those changes and then you want to sit with them for at least a month to make sure you're happy with them. It's so important, again, because if you make those changes and your website and it's $3,000 and it's the designer and everything's been done, a whole lot of money and you're not happy with it, it's just going to create a misalignment. And energetically, you block it. With your website, you need to know the pictures and where they're going. So usually everybody kind of has that top big photo on top, and then you've got some side photos. And depending on your brand and your services, maybe it's your opt-in, you need some kind of pose sometimes where it's like this, or you got to do this, or you got to be sitting. So you want to make sure that you are on board with the website designer, with your, if you have a marketing team, whoever is involved in this, and you have a communication of the pictures that you need to have. Because they might say to you, well, I need it like this, but make sure you tell the photographer to give you enough space around you because we're going to put some writing in. And if you're not clearly articulating that and you've got all these pictures that don't have the room to make big and make small, we're going to create more frustration down the line. Second of all, when you go to take your pictures, take all your standing pictures first, then do your sitting. So if you have on like a pink suit, right? You have this big, beautiful, vibrant pink on, it's a suit. Stand up, take all those pictures first, then take your sitting pictures. Why? If you get wrinkled, it's going to be a lot easier. No one's going to see it, right? Because you're sitting. Otherwise, they've got to come over, got to steam you, hope you have the steamer there, hope the steamer's on, takes time to get it hot. So you want to take the standing pictures first and every outfit you put on. So stand first, then sit. I don't know if many people really make that observation. Some of your clothes is not going to wrinkle, but a lot of times there's pieces that people don't pay attention to and they don't realize that this fabric is going to wrinkle. So big thing to keep in mind. You want to make sure that if you're got beautiful, vibrant colors for your branding, your clothes are going to align with it. You don't have to be totally matched to your brand. You might want to have some coordination. So maybe it's the accessories, or maybe it's a different top, or it's your shoes, but that really coordinate with your brand, or a signature piece that's kind of throughout all your pictures. Maybe it's a particular bracelet, maybe it's a ring, or something that is connecting you to your brand. Now, everybody's different, but I know a lot of times people who are spiritual or holistic definitely have some types of rings or necklaces or something that they're wearing that they kind of have as part of their brand. So keep that in mind. Work the colors with your brand colors. So you really do want to keep in mind that if you have a navy and you've got some soft tones and a little bit of a copper and gold in there, you want to work with styles and colors in your wardrobe that kind of complement those. So you could do some red in there, you could do some, soft navy with some cream, but look at how that all is going to coordinate together. Because the more harmony you have, the better the overall look of your personal brand on your website is going to be. Keep it seasonless. So what I'm saying is don't make it so obvious that these pictures for the website, again, are winter or summer. You want to kind of keep it neutral. Mostly if you're in four seasons. I know some people don't even have four seasons, they're just in one or two seasons, but just try to not make it so obvious that this is a trend or a season. And you really want to make sure that you establish a really good conversation with the photographer so you understand what can be photoshopped. It's so important to have a good understanding of what things will be photoshopped and what will not. I often hear miscommunication in this area. Sometimes people say, oh, we don't do that part. Oh, I can't get that out. Or that's going to cost you an additional couple $100s. So you want to be really mindful about certain things. Most of the time, they're going to be able to do the face and maybe kind of the hair, but you really want to have a clear understanding of what are the things that they will Photoshop out and what do they won't. You also want to have a clear understanding, how many photos are you getting? Make sure. I learned this lesson a hard way. You want to make sure that you're have a clear understanding. I have a website and I need 8 pictures. So I'm needing a kind of a layout like this. And you can come in and you can tell them I need a shot like this and I need a shot like this, and you can have the list with you. When I do client outfits, I always add in at least 2 more. I like to have more outfits than less. This way, if for some reason the environment we're in and an outfit wasn't working, we can either switch out the top, we can switch something out. If there's a stain on something, I'd rather you go with 7 outfits over 5 outfits. Just have some backup stuff. I mean, most of my clients are like, yeah, I love all these outfits. But it's always just good because sometimes something doesn't work. Avoid prints. Now, people say, well, I see her in a print. And yeah, but a lot of times it's better to come with solid colors and tinier prints because sometimes some prints just don't convert well. They might clash against a scene or a background that you're trying to do. They might clash with your brand colors. They might clash with your hair. So just consider this. Keep your colors really solid and clean. And it's really better to work with more pieces that are structured. The more flowier pieces, and I know there's a lot with the shot with the big dresses, and that makes sense if you're doing that big wide shot and you have that big long dress. But if you're somebody who has a very kind of body shape that if you even add just a little bit of flow to it, you look larger. So everybody's a little bit different. This is a personal thing. You're going to have to know your body type and you're going to really have to know, is this going to show up in the photo and make me look bigger than I am? It can happen. Sometimes the outfit looks great on you, but in the photo, it just makes you look bigger. So that's why I always say when you're in the fitting room and you're considering that outfit, let's take a picture. And I'll do that with clients. When they're in the fitting room, we'll take some pictures. We'll make sure it looks good. We just want to make sure that these are things that are really complementing your body type. So there you have it. You have just a couple of different things, perspectives that you don't really always think about when you're doing your branding photo shoot. So it's important that this is not something that you just try to plan in 2 weeks. This is something where you're going to give yourself at least 30 more days because there's not only the planning of the wardrobe, but you want to take care of your look. Have your eyebrows done, have your makeup done, like a trial done. If you want to do any type of treatments to your face, if you're going to do any treatments to your face, you want to be doing those 90 days out because you never know how you can react to something. You never know how you can, how long something's going to take. So you might have a couple of days of really red face, and you don't want to do that because you have the photo the next day. And then maybe you put makeup on and it doesn't, it's a whole big story. I know you know what I'm talking about. Most importantly, it's all about planning. So overall, you need to know where these photos are going. You need to understand how many photos you need, the layouts that you need, have more outfits than you think you need. That's okay. I'd rather you bring more. You have the five, let's say it's an eight photos. You have the main ones, but you have at least two more backups just in case. You're prepared, you take time, you know that the current look of your hair and your makeup and your length of your hair is going to stay like this for a while. So these are the most essential things you need to keep in mind when you're doing, especially your website photos. Most importantly, I'll make a part 2 to talk about social media and other videos, but this is something essential to do. So if you have any questions, drop it in the comments. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.